busy your schedule is. Welcome to Growth Summit. And firstly, welcome everyone to the Growth Summit. I think these are like fourth or fifth Growth Summits in the last 5 years. And Growth Summit is supposed to be like a peer-to-peer learning community for people to learn each other and in terms of best practices of driving growth. And we are glad to have one of the fastest growing bank. We have basically Mr. Vaidyanathan, who is the Managing Director and CEO of IDFC First Bank, and which is basically seen as one of the fastest growing bank and also the most customer friendly bank as well. And for a lot of people, when you look at it from the outside, it is also seen as a digital bank. I mean, I think we just saw like kind of the customer-friendly experiences that IDFC First Bank offers within the mobile app and across all the channels. I think today we'll talk about how technology has played a role and how personalization has played a role in truly driving this sort of transformation over the many years. And probably I'll start with if you look at the journey of IDFC First Bank, I mean, you have a very small number of branches, right? I think probably about 900. Your deposits growth have been significant over the many years, and especially just in the last year, it has grown over 40% to close to 200,000 crores, right? I mean, what sort of role that technology has played in this sort of transformative growth over the years?
So first of all, Ravi, compliments to you and to everybody here for putting this event together. Well, Renuka had, insisted and, suggested that I be here, so you should thank Renuka as well. Now, you said fastest growing bank. Actually, it's true only in the context of deposits. Yeah. It's true that our deposits are going by 40%. That's probably among the faster ones. On the deposits loan side, I guess we are like any other good bank. Now, to you, to your question about the role technology has played. See, basically, since our bank is like five odd years after the merger. Now, at the time of merger, we had like 10,000 crores of retail deposits, and we had a lakh of crores of loans. The rest was just funded by institutional sources. So we need to address that in a hurry. Now, if we had done it the traditional way, like many other banks, and if we go by deposit per branch ratios of those banks, we'll probably need about 3,000 crores to get to 2 lakh crores, and in this time. And how to bridge time, how to grow. For example, we've grown 2 lakh crores of deposits. How to grow 2 lakh crores of deposits with 900 branches, 1,000 branches? That kind of a constraint that we don't want to put number of branches, but we want deposits. The solution is that we used technology massively. So you can think of it like we took an alternative means to get there in a quicker way.
Yeah, I think, like you said, constraints, I think, drive innovation. So I think and if you kind of double click on this, like in terms of what sort of digital technologies that were utilized in this growth, and how does personalization really be important in this context?
See, when we say digitization, people tend to think that you digitize a journey, a process, etc., which of course very important. But the technology stack we use has a huge implication on the customer experience.
Yep.
For example, if you built a fantastic app with good colors, design, etc., but on clicking on, if the response time is not good or the journey is not good, it's as good as the design is useless. So therefore, the tech stack, let me say the infrastructure layer, whether it's on the cloud or on-prem, with the application layer, with the middleware layer, the engineering layer, the CRM layer, the whole stack has to be really good. So we put effort in building a really high-quality stack, and once a stack is built, now you can build really great customer experiences. So this is one of the key reasons why our bank is able to give that kind of experience to customers. And frankly, we talked of growing the deposit base from 10,000 crores to 2 lakh crores. In today's world, when every customer has their own bank, why should they move to our bank? Why?
Yep.
And even after coming there, why should they, if they open the account, why should they keep the money here? Why? So the experience is super important, and that's what a good stack enables to happen.
Yeah. No, I think I've personally kind of seen some of the experiences in IDFC First Bank. We also talked about kind of the loan experience. Can you give some examples of such kind of personalized approach in terms of, I mean, services that you offer for your customers?
See, since your theme is growth, so to
Yes.
say, and that's why you probably started with the growth numbers of our bank. The thing is that, see, growth is a very powerful elixir. You know, it solves many things and gives a very positive motivation to everybody in the organization and so on. And also brings profitability and many other things if done in a very controlled and disciplined way.
Yep.
Now, you know, an example, let me say, of personalization. Think of it that you know, when first of all you look around, if you see your Instagram or if you see your Facebook, etc., or Google feed, they all give you very personalized feeds.
Yep.
Sometimes, you know, next generation children keep doing stupid things, they keep flicking like this, and they, you know, they waste their time, and you look at it. But then it's stupid things, you know, they keep watching some TikTok and this is some stupid dances. But the thing is that in their mind that is personalized.
Yep.
From the point of view of service provider. So therefore, we are seeing this kind of personalization coming all around, and our bank in that example is doing more of that. To give an example, in our bank specific case, if you came to our app, for example, you will find that you know, the landing screen would be personalized. For example, if a customer has taken, just think about it, if the customer has taken only a loan from the bank and no savings account, then the app that will open for the customer will have only the loan stack on the top.
Got it.
It is not a ready-made stack where deposits, credit cards, personal loans, etc. It's not a ready-made stack. So for this customer, this will come on the top. If a customer has a savings account and credit cards and a loan, then there is an order of sequence putting there. So the app itself is different for different people depending on the products they own. I think this is very different actually.
Yeah, and also I think when I looked at the IDFC First Bank, right? I mean, if you look at some of the banks, they probably don't have that sort of a comprehensive product portfolio, everything that can be done in a self-serve fashion. So when I look at your stocks, investing, and so on, that is, the experience is very good even when compared to some of the third-party, like apps. Let's say, for investing only apps, right? And a lot of your journeys are completely self-serve, whether it is taking a loan, whether it is making an investment in a mutual fund, and so on. So you're also covering different milestones in the life of a customer. So is this kind of like very, I would say intentional, like having this sort of a comprehensive products with a self-serve journey? Yeah.
See, like we discussed, since we are a new bank, and let me say 7 or 8 years and 5 years after the merger, the thing is that everything we build for the customer on that, see, we all agree, everybody's carrying mobile phone, app is everything.
Yeah.
Now, you know, if it's an app for app's sake, it's, you know, if it just gives information, it gives account balance, it's of no use to anybody. That you can find anywhere. Account balance, statement of account, you know, make a fixed deposit. These are standard stuff. There's nothing special. But the way we are thinking about it is that how to give solutions to customers, not information. This is very key. If we gave you account balance and statement of account, that's information. But if we say that, listen, you got, you know, 10 lakh rupees in the account, frankly, you don't spend this kind of money every month, you should move 5,000, maybe you could move 5 lakh pesos saving fixed to a mutual fund. That is a value add information you're given to the customer. Now, within that, to tell the customer that, listen, there is a campaign going on that mutual funds are here. We all agree mutual funds are here, right? But now, which mutual fund are the better ones to invest in? Why? What logic? Right? To feed the customer on the top, do high quality research behind that. That is value add. Then the customer can come, click, enter. Right? Now, again, to give the customer, suppose the customer feels that they don't want to buy the mutual fund recommended by you. They want to do their own research. To give them a tool where they can research it. They can do maybe 5-year return, sorted by 5-year return, sorted by 3-year return, sorted by Morningstar rating. That is a tool you give to the customer. That's value add. So the point I'm making is that information is one thing, but to give value added tools for the customer is it's a very important thing.
I think this is definitely a very important takeaway for a lot of our audience, where when you're building products, I think you should think from that sort of a solution approach.
Solution mindset. Information is useless. You can get it anywhere. Solution. Similarly, we started, we started giving, if somebody wants to retire, maybe 15 years from now. So we are giving retirement planning solutions. So you can choose that, you can plan the whole retirement. Somebody wants to buy a car, but it's all planning. So finding solutions for customers is very key. And then customers get used to your solutions, then they won't leave you. For example, how come some deposit can grow from 10,000 crores to 2 lakh crores in 5 years? It's not normal, right? So that's still growing. So if you give solutions, then people tend to stay with you.
Makes sense. And I think this obviously kind of looks simple, but there's a lot of complexity, and the tech stack is definitely is very important, right? And we talked about how you have a hyper-personalization engine that kind of drives some of this, right? Can you talk about some of the work that has gone in there?
See, the thing is that in a large organization, what happens is that there are lots and lots of divisions. There is a home loan division, car loan division, personal loans, credit cards, savings accounts, wealth management, FASTag. If you go to any one of the product managers, they all want to push their product to the customer. Okay, so what will they do? So what happens is that customer is the same. And typically what happens is that, this is also a typical problem, they will find out which is the customer higher affluence. And they will say, this customer, the car loan customer want to give a high affluence so that customer does not default. Home loan customer want to give to the same customer. Now, the wealth customer also want to go to the same customer. Insurance also go to the same customer thinking that I'll get bigger ticket size. Now, that customer sorted by everybody. But तुम्हारे लिए तो one customer target करते हो, but for the customer point of view, 10 लोग उसके पीछे बढ़ गए. Right? Then when you get 20 emails, that is a spam for the customer. Now, how to solve this problem? Now, therefore, you got to set up a governance center, saying that don't spam the customer. Now, that governance center, what we talk about loosely in our world as governance center, now it's a tech governance center. Tech governance center.
Interesting.
So that is where the hyper-personalization engine comes to play.
Got it. I think this is a common problem that we have seen working with companies across verticals, because if you look at e-commerce, they have multiple categories. Now each category manager has their own KPIs which they want to drive, and then there's this similar conflict that arises. So I think what you made the point you made about having sort of a governance center, which is more tech driven, which basically kind of looks at like what is the next best experience that we should offer to the customer, instead of thinking about like only the KPIs, but thinking more from the customer first.
And it's more than governance. Okay, one is governance, so that it's like a traffic light saying that look, it's green, yellow, red for you. Now it's green for you. Now it's green for you. That's governance. But governance alone does not solve the problem, because governance only tells you who will go first. Okay, now got a wealth customer. Now I got to wait for 2 months. Now I got to make a car loan offer. Wait for 2 months. That is governance. But beyond governance, now you have to add intelligence. Very important. Intelligence layer. It's just not traffic cop saying you next. Intelligence. Intelligence layer is then you go and identify that you do this. That's why they call it N-1. N-1 is not just a it's not a general management jargon, because what happens is that then you identify the customer, the profile of the customer, and then you identify that look, the governance is the intelligence layer. Think of it like the source data, that is your loan management system, your core banking solution. These are just core systems. They have a lot of data in them. They come into a central place which we call almost like the data platform, which is the data lake. Now from the data lake, it comes to the intelligence layer, which is why all this governance works happens. And then they apply intelligence on it, saying that look, this customer is most eligible or most likely to touch this product. This product is most likely to be availed by the customer if served on a WhatsApp, not on a SMS. This product is most likely to be told if it's sold through an RM, not through WhatsApp. So this intelligence layer is applied on top of the governance layer, and that becomes a very powerful means to feed to the channels.
I think that's a great way to kind of look at your stack. And I think we also obviously MoEngage plays that role of like identifying that right channel, right time, and can really complement the intelligence sort of built.
And
within the
also do it on
companies.
ML basis. Now if
Yes.
you're running a large bank,
Yeah.
which maybe 20, 30 products, and maybe 7, 8 million customers on this side, deposit side, and maybe 30 million customers on the loan side, talking of 40 million customers, now there'll be spam all over the place.
Yeah.
So engine has to take over.
Yeah.
Now engine will decide that for this customer, not a human being. Engine is deciding, these are ML engines,
Yeah.
decide that this customer will get this offer at this time so that you don't spam the customer.
Got it, got it. And with so much also happening in machine learning in terms of, and there's a lot happening on the generative AI with a lot of models, like what sort of investments that like you think like companies need to make in terms of the teams towards kind of keeping up with the technology that is changing, that's happening?
See, main thing to deal with in these matters is basically the building good quality teams. You
Yeah.
know, technology is all over the place. It's just, you can have all this discussion we're doing, but it has to translate to real action.
Execution. Yeah.
Now, for that, you need good quality teams. So, what we do is that we built our own organization, not necessarily from banking. We brought somebody from Amazon, somebody from Walmart, somebody from here, there. We put together a set of people, even from consumer companies, for developing these capabilities.
Yep.
And frankly, these capabilities are enormously powerful because it saves the customer's time.
Yeah.
Instead of, to have relevant propositions, and makes, our cost also comes down because you're having very targeted conversation.
Got it. I think we talked, I think one of the key parts is customer service, right? I mean, customer service, there is sales, but how can personalization happen also in the customer service standpoint? And has there been any work that you have done in terms of the chatbots and stuff like that?
See, again, in service, we talked of, it is a big role to play. I'll give you just, one or two examples. The traditional way of telling customers is that, you have a problem, okay, call the contact center. This has been going on since maybe decades now. So somebody picks up the call, then IVR will be there. So the IVR will direct the customer here and there. And then someone will pick up the call, they'll try to solve the query, right?
Yep.
Now, that's so old and outdated, right? And many banks are still doing it. And we are also migrating out to more newer models. So now the more newer engagement methods will be that if the customer, think about it, has had, a UPI has declined somewhere. The customer is at a shop, UPI has declined.
Yes.
Or customer tried to swipe the card at a hotel and it's got declined.
Yep.
Now, if the call came to the contact center, now, instead of saying, oh, hello, how can I help you? Oh, my card declined. The person picking up the call, because that information from that credit card system can pipe into the contact center real time, so that contact center picks up the call, they will know the customer is calling for a declined card transaction.
Yep.
So the quality of conversation becomes that much because you can solve it.
Yeah.
So service makes a big role. Or for example, you will say that you might get a normal transaction which says, your credit card just got declined at Taj for whatever reason, right? Instead of doing that, to identify the back end that the credit card got declined because the customer does a setting on the app as POS off.
Yep.
So tell the customer that your card has got declined because you have not set your POS into on mode.
Yeah.
Please click this link, switch on your stuff and try again. That becomes service. So I'm trying to tell you that this personalization is playing a big role in making service happen.
No, I think, I mean, we are also equally talking about like how service communications are so important, because I think this is a great example of how service communications can be really important to think about. I think since we have about 10 minutes, we'll be open to kind of like few questions from the audience.
Yes,
is that,
of course.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yes.
Can we take? Can anyone who has questions can raise hands?
So why don't you? So while it his hand is up. His hand is up. Yeah.
Yeah, I see on the front. Pankaj.
So while he asks his question, to finish his point, with personalization, customer experience also improves, our costs come down, and not just on the, you talked of deposits as an important point, you talked of service, even on the lending side, we are able to make much more effective high quality conversations.
Yep.
On the collection side, you can have high quality conversation, and it overall, kind of improves the productivity and cost effectiveness of an organization.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. My name is Sanjay. I work at Just Dial. My question is with respect to the spamming aspect that you mentioned. You said that in an organization there are bound to be multiple product managers, and every product manager is bound to pitch their own product, while the customer is the same. It's the same problem that I face myself. I just wanted to understand, I'm not sure if the answer can be given in this forum in detail, but how did you deal with this specific problem where you reach out to the customer, you don't miss out on that opportunity of reaching out to the customer, but at the same time you balance it out and ensure that the customer is
I'll
not being
explain to you
spammed?
how we solved the problem actually. We have solved it to a really good extent, right? We might have an odd exception somewhere, but how we solved it is that, see, what we did was that we create something called a CDNA, customer's DNA. So like all of us have a DNA, the customer also has a DNA. That DNA is shown from the transactions the customer is doing on our own bank account. That customer is also showing some transaction elsewhere through the account aggregator. That customer also has information coming from the bureau, on which you can see that the customer is having, from the bureau, the customer is having a loan amount of 1 crore rupees, just to take it up as example, not from our bank, from other bank. You can find that, and you know the customer demographics, and suppose the customer is, say, let me make it up, say 60 years old, and then you have this 5 pieces of information. By the way, CDNA is much more detailed than this. It runs into thousands of data points. Now, this information from multiple source systems, both within the bank and outside the bank, are coming to a single source. Now there's a DNA. This customer, who's now 60 years old, having a 1 crore rupee loan, if the two-wheeler team wants to just push the customer, we call it spam. Because very low probability that the customer will want a two-wheeler, because the customer is probably having a 1 crore rupee loan. So this center is run independently of the product teams. The product team cannot choose to. They can't say, I am paying 10 bucks per, 10 paisa per SMS, my P&L, how do you care? No, we care. So that central division, based on the CDNA, will decide what product can go, and this can cause heartburns. Because sometimes the product team will say, I'm most suitable. How will you not allow me to make this product offering? But the governance center will not permit it. And secondly, the governance center is now technology. Now, how do you fight with technology? That model has to improve over time, but that's how this model works.
I see a question in the front. One more.
And by the way, with this, we find immense improvement customer experience. For example, another division, customer unfriendly process that we saw. One day I was, watching my own app, and our app, and I was putting that, before the app came, there's one block came, saying that invest in sovereign gold, sovereign bonds. I called the tech team immediately, and the product manager, how is this pop-up coming? They say, no, they're way to sell. No, our customers have come to the app for what? They came here to see balance, they came to here make payment. You can interrupt the way and say, mera product kharid lo. Yeah. Right? So we cut that out. So these are, these either they could be spam, or they could be interruptions to a process, right, which we don't approve of. And these are constantly, we look at all the time, customer comes first, customer convenience comes first, and along the way we will also make products which are convenient to the customer. We'll also sell products to the customer. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Morning, sir. Thanks. Bhavish here. Sir, I wanted to ask, how relevant is CLTV as a concept, a KPI? Because loyalty, as you know, in the banking industry is very commoditized. Everyone is showing some rewards. X bank is giving X percentage extra, someone is giving extra on UPI cashback, so on and so forth. So how relevant? Because I don't think anyone can say I have a primary bank. I have a primary bank for a savings account, primary bank for a home loan, primary bank for credit card. So as a customer, there is no primary bank per se. So how relevant is CLTV in modern times?
No, it is very relevant. Okay, let's be very clear. Now, first of all, in banking, it is, especially in the savings side, it's really not so easy to switch accounts, because your EMI is going from that account, you're given this as auto debit to maybe to your family, your parents, where the money is going on a monthly basis, and that or this is a UPI is set, people say, well, don't disturb, this animal is working well, right? So there is some amount of loyalty involved, just because of sheer amount of interactions going from the account. But it's also true that people may have a savings account here, maybe home loan from, that's also true. But the thing is that if we can have high quality solutions for customers, your lifetime value is dramatically longer. If you are purely transactional, then lifetime value is going to be very, very small.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Makes sense. I saw some hands. Yeah.
Good morning. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable information. Since this is about Growth Summit and you spoke about CDNA, customer DNA. How about onboarding? How do you decide the DNA of a customer before onboarding? It is such a commoditized system today to onboard B2C or B2B customers. Everyone is selling everywhere. So what challenges and how do you do some filtering exercise, some segmentation, or each and everyone is welcome to onboard for growth?
It's a very good question, by the way, because anybody who tries to be everything for everybody, finally never goes anywhere. Okay, so therefore, and also, resources are limited. You don't have unlimited resources, whether you are making a lot of money or not making enough money, whether early stage or late stage. Everybody has to be respectful of money and the spends they do. Now, therefore, it is material. Now, to your point, of course, on the where we approach the customer becomes very important. For example, if you are trying to, in our case, we have two products. Just to take a very simple example, we have an account where you can keep 10,000 rupees and you have 25,000 rupees, two products as savings accounts. Right? Now, the customer segment whom you're having, accordingly you pitch that product. If you're having a gig employee who's trying to open an account or open an account with the bank, you'll maybe have a 10K product for that customer profile. This profile 25K. Maybe for, like I said, for somebody having a 2 crore rupee loan, you can't go and spam them with a two-wheeler loan. So this proposition works, and this is, as all of us know in this world, in this room at least for sure, we have the ETB customers and NTB customers.
Yeah.
For ETB customers, your own profile is complete wealth of data. Everything is with you right now, right? Yeah. And for NTB customers, it becomes more relevant because you've got to scrap data from outside the system. For example, customer comes to open a bank account. You may still go and check the bureau and find out what profile of the customer there, and accordingly pitch the right product to the customer.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, I see a hand here in the center.
Hello, sir. My name is Pranay Desai. While this may sound very basic, but still I would just like to put it up since you are here, sir. So, we see there are a lot of banks today, right from IDFC to SBIs of the world, who have or who has been there since decades. But then IDFC is a bank who breaks the clutter and comes into everyone's notice. Right, technology is, I understand, it's one of the pillar. Apart from technology, if I may ask, what were the three, or what are the three success pillars apart from technology, which you really bank on to say to be the sort of like #1 bank today in the country?
See, first of all, I never make any such claims of being any numbering in the country. But yeah, to your question, it's true that we had success in building the bank, both on deposit side, loan side. Your question is how? Okay. Now, see, banking is a business of trust. Because end of the day, if you're leaving maybe a lakh rupees with us, you're trusting the bank. It's a business of trust. Now, how do you build trust? Trust is such a amorphous concept. How do you build the trust? So through conduct, about how the organization conducts itself, how leaders themselves conduct themselves, and so on and so forth, about the senior management and the visible management of the bank, and of course the organization itself, how it conducts itself. So apart from technology, we made very pro-customer products. I told you technology, I told you solutions. You asked me for a third thing. Any amount of advertising you do will be useless if it is not backed by products which are supportive and distribution structure. So our products have been very good. For example, in savings account, we were the first bank in the country which said that, look, I'm giving credit every month for your interest. When you take a loan, you're paying EMI every month. So you leave money with the bank, I'll pay interest every month. Why every quarter? It broke the clutter. Then secondly, when we said that, On the savings account again, we started giving solutions. We talked about that. Then, you know, there were a lot of fees on the customers' bank accounts. So our bank is the first bank, till today by the way, no other bank has even done that yet, but you know, different banks have different strategies, that we took out all fees, IMPS 0, NEFT 0, RTGS 0, debit card fees 0, which is a standard amount, 400, 500 rupees comes every month, every year to your account. Debit card 0, cash deposit at branches 0, cash withdrawal at branches 0, third-party deposits, if your bearer comes and puts money, that's 0. Then non-home branch charges became 0. So customer feel कि यार ये बैंक अच्छा है, कुछ नहीं charge करता, monthly credit देता है, एक peace of mind आता है, and then you know all that.
Thank you so much.
I think with that we will wrap the session, and I would also like to kind of share that, I mean, I've personally seen how we have been a big philanthropist personally as well.
No, I don't want to go there, so please keep it away.
But I mean, it's an inspiration for all of us, and really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you very much, and to all of you, I'm sure who are very successful professionals, thank you, nice meeting all of you. And we are making our best foot forward. We put 3 pillars in the bank, right? We say 3 things, and they're very important. We drill this to, you know, all our employees as a DNA. We say ethical banking, so that becomes part of the approach. Ethical banking. We say digital banking, all the things, technology, solutions, etc. And we say social good banking, saying that it has to add value to society.
Yep.
So these are the 3 pillars which are running the bank, and nice to see all of you, and congrats on putting this together.